Oh, 6 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order tonight. Welcome, everyone. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have a flag someplace?
Behind Megan, right there. Yep.
Ah, right behind Paul. Wonderful. If you can, stand if you want to see, and we'll salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First order of business is to approve the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Tina?
Jason and Paul. I'll just run through the names and say yes or no. John? John?
Yes.
Linda? Linda?
She said yes. I read her lips.
Okay, Linda, you must be on mute. Tina?
Yes.
Jason? Jason,
She said yes.
are you reading lips yet?
Yep, I am.
Paul?
Yes.
Isetta?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is passed. This evening, we begin with a presentation from a high school student. Michael, would you like to do the honors with that, please?
Yes, yeah, sure would. Tonight we have Quentin Norris joining us. Quentin is an all-around talent for our senior class. You know, he's musically inclined, athletically gifted, represents us in the performing arts as well as on the volleyball team, the basketball team, and most recently on our soccer team. So Quentin, it's a pleasure to have you with us tonight. And I want to kind of share with you, and maybe you forgot about this, but your handprint's going to go down in lore at the middle school. Your handprint's on the wall over at Leavenworth. So, and you wrote your name so legibly that we can read your name. So I have a picture for you before that gets covered up, but just know that that's always going to be a part of the history of that building. So welcome, and we look forward to hearing from you tonight.
All right, thank you. I just want to thank you guys for letting your favorite senior speak with you. But yeah, I just wanted to share how this year is going for me this so far. I mean, it's different for all of us seniors, you know, like it's tough, but I just want to let you guys know, I mean, there is some positives in my life so far this year. So obviously, like you said, I got to play soccer this year. Usually I play volleyball, but because of COVID, that has been postponed till spring. So I got the honors to join that team, which I had a lot of fun on. So there always is positives to some things. And with the time off I had from school, I got to work a lot more. So those are just two positives. Like with work, it's just good to get experience before you go to college. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know that it is tough for all of us, but we all are experiencing some positives. But yeah, and for this year, I usually, like right now, I should be playing basketball, but as you all know, that is postponed as well, and we don't know a starting time for that. But it is a little tough for me because I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but basketball is my favorite sport, and I'm actually 9 points away from 1,000. So just to get at least one game in would mean the world to me. But obviously, that's none of your guys' fault. It's going around everywhere. So I'm just hoping to get a season, you know, and my dad wanted to ask, why is there swim but no basketball? But that's up to the state, not you guys. So just wanted to let you know that like any like problems I have about school or anything is nothing has to do with you guys. You know, like every school is doing the same model as us, as hybrid or virtual. But and I just wanted to just give my experience on the hybrid model. I think it's going well. I really enjoy being in school. Like the teachers make it really easy to seem as normal as possible. Although lunch isn't the same, I feel like classes have gone really well for me so far this year. And when we're not in school, it is a little tough to get started on work, but our teachers do have Zoom calls, which keep us in check. So I do appreciate their hard work because it's not easy to have kids in school and to be watching kids while they're virtual. So I do appreciate all what you guys are doing and all what our teachers are doing. But I'm just trying to make the best, obviously, of what's going on. Like when I'm out of school, it's a good time to have college prep on what I want to do. So although I can't visit colleges, they have a lot of online things going on. So it is very nice to have that. But yeah, so just being a senior is tough, obviously. Like I was thinking, was last year like my last like normal half year? But I mean, we're all hoping for the best, you know. And I know it's just not easy on everyone. But when we do go out virtual, though, that is a little tough. But our teachers do keep a good schedule going where we have Zooms when we usually have class. So if we do go virtual, it is stressful, but we are trying our best. So is the teachers, and so is me and my sister. But yeah, so just wanted to let you guys know that there are positives because I got to meet. Well, I already knew Mike Wirtz, but playing with him with soccer was a great opportunity for me, and just to learn from that sport and learning from my parents and working with them is a huge opportunity too. So although I do not have basketball or normal school activities, I do have a lot of positives going on. But yeah, so when I am in school, I just want to let you guys know it is pretty normal. So just wanted to let you guys know that.
Well, thank you. It is good to hear that you're getting some positives out of this horrible experience.
Yeah.
We're very sorry, especially for you seniors, to be missing your senior year. That's such a great year for everyone. And we wish it could be just as regular and normal as ever. But as you say, everyone is going through it. So there's nothing we can do about it. Board members, do you have any questions or comments for Quentin?
What are the colleges doing for you as far as the videos that you watch or whatever?
I couldn't understand that fully, but I think he asked what colleges I'm looking at. Am I correct?
He wondered what they were doing for you as you look at them.
Okay, so I do have a little leeway because I do plan on playing college or basketball in college. So I actually have talked to a couple coaches, and they helped me get to the counselors there, and they have on YouTube. You guys probably know what that is. They have like virtual. Sorry, they have virtual campus tours. I have been on a couple visits, but right now it seems like colleges around here have not been. It's like either booked or they're canceled. But other than that, they email us a lot, and they try to make sure we're on check with college, the Common App, and making sure we're getting our applications in. So they're doing everything they can besides the tours, which they do have virtual tours, but you know, it's not the same, but it's still nice.
Good, good. Anyone else? Well, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. And we certainly hope, things get back to somewhat normal for you and that you
Thank
can
you.
experience some of these wonderful senior things that go on.
Yeah.
And we hope you get your 1,000 points.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being with us.
All right. Thank you, guys. God bless you all.
Thank you,
Thank
Quentin.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much. And now we move on to SWBR and campus construction. Not sure
Hi,
who's
everybody. This
going
is
to
Kevin.
start. Kevin,
I'm gonna
okay.
start. I think I'm unmuted. I'm a little distracted. That was a great kid. He broke my heart about that basketball story. I can't imagine. Feel bad for all the student athletes, but that's a tough one for him to swallow, I'm sure. I'll do a progress update to start. I'll start at the middle school. I got the opportunity to walk the site myself today. I'm happy to report cleaning efforts were taking place on the second and third floor. Finishes are still ongoing on the first floor. Primarily what I saw today and this week is doors and door hardware completions, and the stair tower railings started going in today. There's also a painter still going around doing some final touch-up painting. We did experience another setback in the auditorium. The auditorium's sealed off right now. We found some suspect material in a coating that was embedded in the concrete. When the contractor was prepping the concrete for the new flooring, they found some suspect material. So we're under investigation of that to find out what the impact is going to be. We've got a couple of studies going, see how to mitigate and get past it. So fortunately, a small setback in the aud last week, actually. The exterior of the building, as everyone has probably seen driving by, is virtually 100% with the exception of some top coating on that parent drop off on the north side. But all the landscaping, curbing, they've been done for a while, so I'm sure everybody knows that. Jump into the elementary building. We are expecting delivery of the replacement floor tile as early as tomorrow. Upon delivery on site, our team will certainly, and we encourage SWBR, and even if the district has the time, we're going to open up the boxes. We're going to verify that the colors are as expected and they're consistent. Providing that is successful, which we are hoping will be, the contractor is scheduled to start the installation after school hours on Friday. They're planning on working Friday night, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday, with a backup plan or a backup day of Monday on Martin Luther King Day, knowing the school's closed. So they think they can get it done in 3 days, but we have a small buffer there, being Monday, to finish up any loose ends if needed. I think that's the highlights. I guess, is there any questions for, you'll notice in your board packet, I hope, we did provide a recommendation to award that acoustical package that was bid for the middle school gymnasium. The low apparent recommended contractor is Renko. We have all the confidence in them. They're a good contractor out of Rochester, and acoustics is right up their wheelhouse. So we have no problem with that recommendation. Hopefully it's accepted by the district. Any questions? Or Steve, did you want to add anything?
No, Kevin, I think you covered it well. The auditorium asbestos issue is troubling, but we are working closely with not only campus and the district, but Lou Engineers, the asbestos inspector, to finalize the assessment and develop a path moving forward. So that's really all I have to add there.
I'm glad you looked at the drains to Hartford Street because that has been a sore point throughout the decades. And secondly, is that anyone looked at the elevator? Is the elevator is working fine and is updated or not?
Yeah, the elevator is operational. We have explored some interior renovations to just cosmetically upgrade it. Meaning, I think we looked into paint and new flooring. I'm not sure where that stands, if it's been awarded or not, but operationally, the elevator does work. Yes, it has been verified.
We have issued the
This is
purchase
Justin
order.
Bussey.
Go ahead, Justin.
Yes. No, you were on the same page, Bob. The PO was issued by the district, and I've been in touch with ThyssenKrupp. They've sent their rendering. They will be doing an interior cab up motion, so they're ordering their material and anticipated in 3 to 4 weeks for delivery.
I imagine the regular maintenance that needs to be done on something like that, that elevator, was that taken care of during this renovation of school?
Jason, I don't know. You're coming through garbled.
Yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't hear the question. If Steve or Justin did, maybe you could jump in here.
Just
I didn't get it either.
maintenance for the elevator. Is it bad? Can you just not hear me?
Jason,
All
I
I'm
think you
getting
were
is-
asking about if there's maintenance for the elevator that's required. Is that what you were?
Jason, we're still trying to decipher what your question is. He gives up. Oh,
Maybe if he wants to type it in on the chat.
So he just emailed, he's asking if all the preventative maintenance is up to date.
thank
I,
you.
I guess I don't know technically the answer to that. Justin or Steve, do you?
Yeah, ThyssenKrupp has been on site, and this is going back a couple months, but their tech went through the elevator and, made sure everything was operating properly. So yes, they are up to date as far as that goes. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. I guess that completes the questions then. Thank you for being with us and for that update. And we hope the tile goes well. Hope it's all good and it gets installed. And that asbestos in the auditorium gets dealt with. So thank you.
Okay.
And good night, and we'll see you again next time.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night.
All right. At this time, we'll turn things over to Megan Pallotti for her presentation.
All right, thank you. So I wanted to start out with the brochure that was sent home to the board members. Hopefully you all received this. What this is really a synopsis of the different reports you've heard up until this point. So inside that we have the district goals, which all really came out of the building goals as well. They're all associated. And then each of the buildings that presented to you, those goals are outlined in here as well. And then finally, the department goals for each of the directors that presented. And you'll notice across the top of those pages that our focus areas are all consistent across the district, to make sure that we're really showing some consistency and planning between the district and each of the buildings. And then of course on the back, there's some great pictures of kids because that's why we're all here and the most important thing for us. So tonight I'm going to focus on the district level update, just as each of the buildings and the departments that have gone before me. So our first area is curriculum development and professional learning. So earlier this year, you may remember that we had a push to get curriculum maps completed by our teachers. And that was accomplished by the end of October. And once that was done, we sent all of our information over to a program called Atlas. We're working with Atlas because that's going to be a program where the curriculum maps are going to be in there. Teachers will be able to easily access them. They'll be able to revise them and work on them. And a really nice piece for the community is that there's a parent part to it where parents are able to go there and easily see what their child's learning, depending on their grade level, their subject area, whenever they want to go in and check on that. It also is really nice if teachers do end up teaching a different grade level or moving around to a different position within the district. The curriculum maps are right there for them to access and they don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then as we get working with Atlas and getting more familiar with it, it's going to allow us to run reports so we can really see that vertical alignment to make sure that we're not leaving certain standards out as students go through their years of learning here, or that we're not being overly repetitive with some of the standards. So that's some of the progress we made in the area of curriculum maps since the beginning of the year. Another focus that we've really had this year is social emotional learning. And this is so important right now for everyone. So we've been focusing on social emotional learning for students, but also for staff. So we started the summer with offering some professional development around this. Christy Graves was nice enough to put together some pieces where staff could access over the summer. And then we've continued that work this year with Erica Ebert, who works through Wayne Finger Lakes BOCES with us. And she's really worked with our staff members to help them understand mindfulness and how to use that for themselves as professionals, but also how to integrate that with their students in their everyday teaching. And some other social emotional pieces that we've been integrating is yoga for our students, restorative circles and community circles where students get to know each other and really build those connections with each other and everyone has a chance to be heard. Meditation, awareness of self-regulation skills. And then Erica has trained the administrators in implicit bias, and that's something that our staff is going to be working through as well. Through Kelly Marciano has connected us with some individuals from the state through our focus area needs, and we're all going to be attending a fundamentals of equity training. And I was able to attend it last week, and it goes along really well with implicit bias. So I think it's a really great way for us to really think of everyone's different needs and how to reach them right where they're at. We also have been focusing on collaborative classroom, which is the new ELA series that we're working with our kindergarten through 6th grade staff and our students with. This is something that through a process last year of really looking at our curriculum and what was needed and what was missing, that we decided to adopt, and our teachers are really learning it and using it in the classrooms. And it's going to be really nice to have some consistent approach for how things are taught from kindergarten through 6th grade. And we're already seeing some really nice results, especially in the areas of writing, that students are finding a love for writing through using this program. So that's really exciting to see. And so we're looking forward to seeing after a few years of implementation how the students respond and the progress that we see through the years. Another large focus has been creating the digital libraries and using digital platforms within the district. This is something that we had to do with so many students being virtual or hybrid and home on some days. So teachers have spent a lot of time figuring out how to reach their students at home, and doing that digitally has been a big piece. And then Google is our main way that we're using our classrooms, Google Classrooms online for students who are home. And we're very lucky to have Lori Elliott, who works with us through BOCES, to do trainings for us to really show us how to get the most out of Google Suite to use within our classrooms for our students. The next area of focus is community engagement. So we are very lucky to have parent liaisons in the district, and we have one for each building, and they've been really helpful with communicating with families when we've had a hard time maybe connecting with them or finding out what's getting in the way of students engaging with school as much as we would like them to. Another piece that's been really nice is when we just recently went through the interviews for the athletic director, we were able to include a parent liaison to really get that parent voice on the interview committee. So it's been a really nice addition to have them in the district and working with us. And it's been great to have board liaisons. It's so nice to have each of you come back and report some good news to the community from each of the buildings. So I think that's been a really nice addition this year as well. And then Amanda Renko, who's our public relations specialist, she has been very responsive to attending anything that we let her know is going on. She's been getting information out there for different things that are happening in the buildings through social media and in the newspaper. She's always got her camera with her, taking pictures of things. And so it's just been really nice also for her to work on some things like the newsletter I sent home to you. And also she's been working on our website to really get that to be more of a functional tool for our community. Our multi-tiered systems of support is our next area of focus. You may have heard this referred to as MTSS. Kelly Marciano, she oversees the district level team. And then within the building, there's different tiered teams. And so what this really is when you look at tier 1, it's the instruction that all students get within the classroom. And then as students show that they're struggling or not understanding or hitting a certain benchmark for behavior or attendance, they move up the tiered systems to get more supports. So one system that we're really relying on this year to help us figure out who those students are and track their progress is Panorama. That's a system where it takes students at attendance, behavior, and academic levels and puts it all in one place. And we can drill down to the individual student level, or we can sort students by different demographics to see how different groups of students are doing. So it's a really helpful tool for us to figure out how to meet students right where they're at as far as their needs. And then you'll see on Wednesdays, our district is fully virtual, and we have set aside time on Wednesdays for tier 1 discussions about how students are doing, what needs to be adjusted within the classrooms. So this is just a sample schedule of something that the administrators use to keep track of what's being offered on Wednesdays. And you can see it's a mixture of tier 1 meetings, it's some professional development around collaborative classroom. There's different, you can see Erica Ebert on there was doing some mindfulness with different grade levels. So even though our teachers aren't here on Wednesdays, they're spending a lot of time learning that day, meeting, and then also available to students for office hours during that Wednesday. So they're staying very busy. The next area is finance. So we've really had to rely a lot on technology this year. Thankfully, we are a one-to-one district, so we thank you for that support because that's been huge, especially during this time. In looking at technology, we've really had to look at what is working for students and what does not work for students, what's engaging for them, and what's user-friendly for teachers to actually be able to manipulate and use with their students. So we've really used technology more than ever in digital platforms. One thing that we're really looking at is that we don't want teachers just kind of like finding something and using it on their own because they think it's a great tool. We need to make sure that it's Law 2D compliant. So we have to make sure that students' personal information isn't being put in there. They're not signing in through their Google accounts unless we do have an agreement with that vendor that it's safe. So that's something that we've been educating people on. And if it's something that really is widespread and wants to be used by many teachers want to use it, then we would go through the process of getting the agreement in place or, doing a paid subscription for something because that's often more Ed Law 2D compliant than the free versions. And then also looking at what's not engaging for students, what's not working for teachers, and eliminating those things so we're not putting money into things that we're not really getting anything out of for them. For finance, we've also purchased into a couple of frontline systems. The first is professional development. So through this system, you are able to just go in and click on different professional development offerings through BOCES, or we can put in our own professional development that we're offering in the district. Teachers can go in there, click on what they'd like to attend, and principals can approve it right in the system. And then it comes to me and I can approve it or not approve it depending on the cost and if we have substitutes, all those pieces. But it really, it takes a process that currently uses paper and goes between about 6 different desks within the district, between multiple buildings to get approval and to get someone signed up for something, to all online. So it's really going to be a huge time saver. And it also is going to be able to track teachers' professional development hours for them as they take things, and pronounce certificates as teachers take those. So it's really going to be a nice system, and that's going to be up and running very soon. We actually started to take over our system, so we're going to get people trained on it pretty quickly because we got it up and running and need to roll it out. In Frontline as well, we have the evaluation system where we're going to be putting the way we use evaluations, like through our APPR observations right in there as well. So currently we go to a classroom and we watch what is happening and we type our evidence into a Word document or an Excel document. And then we have to go through and tag it for where it belongs in the rubric, and then sort it and then copy and paste it into another form. It's a very lengthy process. It can take hours to be able to get through each observation of a teacher. So through this system, we'll be able to take evidence right in the system, and the different tags for the rubrics are right in there and we can click on them. It's a much more efficient system, and it's going to help with everybody following timelines because it has automatic emails that go between the administrator and the teacher to set up things. And then finally, Atlas, which I already told you about for the curriculum mapping. And I think the big thing to think about is that although this is these systems are a financial investment for the district, what we're getting back is the ability to have time to focus on instruction and focus on students and really spend the time to dig into data and see how everyone is doing and make adjustments as needed, because each of these processes right now are very cumbersome. So that's really going to save us some time in those areas. So the last thing I want to focus on is next steps. So we are going to be training everyone in each of those systems so that they understand how to use them. For Atlas, we have already trained our leadership council, and they're going to be helping to roll that out to staff. Our leadership council is getting trained on the 26th for how to use the professional development system. And then we'll also be doing training on the observation system once that's up and running. We're going to be looking at the Atlas system to check out vertical alignment within our curriculum. That's something we're going to be looking at this spring, and I plan to have our curriculum writing focused on that this summer to realign anything that doesn't look like it's quite like it should be, and to hopefully get different teachers from different grade levels working together to make sure that as students go through the process of different grades within the district, they're really getting what they need. We're going to continue the social emotional learning focus for teachers and for things that they can use with their students. And then just continuing to build those digital libraries. We have teachers who, as they plan, they're creating the digital format as well as the in-person format so that they have it no matter what situation we're in. So that's going to be something that we continue to do all year. So that's the end of my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anyone?
Megan, are any of these offered by BOCES? The software like Atlas and Frontline?
Yeah, so we are able to go through both these for Atlas and Frontline through SAAs through there. So we will get some aid back on those.
it sounds to me like yeah, I know. It sounds like a very valuable line, and that sounds like it could be really useful to teachers and to parents and administration, and I think it's a great thing. It sounds like a lot of sensible stuff.
That it does. All right.
Cindy, I
Paul
got a,
has a question.
Paul.
Yeah.
Paul?
yes, please. Thank you. Megan, collaborative classroom. I think you said it, but I'm sorry. I just missed. Is it K through 6? That's the collaborative classroom? Okay, great. I see your head nodding. Second question.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted.
That's fine. Second question was on Panorama. It was grades, attendance, and there was another criteria.
Behavior. So it looks at office discipline referrals, and then you can look at all of that. And for the grades, it's nice because at the high school level, it looks at student grades, but K through 8, it also pulls in our Ames Web data, which are different progress points of student skills that they're tested throughout the year to see how they're progressing. So it takes that into account too, so we can really see kind of in real time how they're doing with making progress on their skills.
Great. Actually, now you brought the questions to 4. The number 3 question was, do you have an example of technology that didn't work that we're going to discard?
So just recently, we were working with, we kept a subscription for STAR Math, Accelerated Math, because that was something that a few teachers were using and they found it to be useful. But they recently switched over to Freckle Math because I think somebody else bought them out. And we're finding that another math program that other people have been using seems to be working better. So that's a situation where we have 2 things that are kind of doing the same thing, and we need to get people on board with one or the other so then we can eliminate one. So those are the kind of decisions we're trying to make that will benefit the most students and the most teachers and be the most user-friendly.
Great. And now the number 4 that you created, when's the Amesworth data come out again?
The Ames, when does it come out?
Yes, please.
So different students are progress monitored at different times. If students are really struggling, they could be progress monitored once a week. Other students are progress monitored close to the trimester dates. So we can actually go in at any time and see how students are doing. It just depends on when the testing occurs that updates that.
Oh, that's enlightening. I got the impression that it was, like at the end of the semester or something like that, but it's ongoing. Okay, thank you.
Yep. For some students, it is, a longer time period, but then for, other students, it's much more frequently.
Well, I remember in the middle school and then I think in the North Rose Elementary, we're going to evaluate students after the Amesworth data came out. So that's what I was kind of thinking is, when is that evaluation going to take place?
Yes, so the second round is actually happening right now. So they're getting some good data to see growth from the fall. And then the nice thing about AmesWeb is that it communicates with Panorama. So it like pulls it right in there. So it's up to date anytime we want to look at it.
Great, thank you.
Jason had a question too. He said, is there a goal tracking component to monitor progress? Jason, are you asking about AmesWeb as well, or for Atlas with the teachers using Atlas? Both. Both, is that what that says? Sorry, my emails are coming in slowly. Okay, yes. So for Atlas, yes, we can see right in there, you know, what's been put in there, what's missing. So for the curriculum mapping, we ask everyone to have everything done. And then we let them know that what you've given us, we're putting in the system. So if you make any changes to it, it's not going to be in there. So we can easily run and see if there's components missing or certain standards missing within that. And then for Ames Web, yes, we look at that data, and then actually it is in Panorama where we put different goals for students to track. And then through, I'm using so many phrases, but through the MTSS system, that's where we look at the students to see if they are making the progress and then adjusting accordingly if they aren't or if they are. You're welcome.
Megan,
Yes.
I just wanted to make a comment. I think it's great that this year you have in place parent representatives and liaisons for each building. I think that is a plus for improving communication.
Definitely. They've been really valuable.
Anyone else? Okay, good questions, nice comments. Good. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
Very informative. I will move on in our agenda to the building liaisons for the elementary. Jason, Izetta, do either of you have anything to report for the elementary?
Jason did send an email, said he was not going to be able to present his parent liaison report.
Okay. Okay, we'll hold that for another time. Middle school or Izetta? I think you're muted.
I don't have a report at this time because with COVID the way it is, I have not been going into the buildings. And I have not had any communication from the school.
Okay. All right, thank you. Tina, anything from the middle school?
Yeah,
Tina Reed?
I talked with a few of the teachers and they just given me the update that Ames Web testing is starting this week for ELA. That the computer-based testing, the CBT, is Monday. Well, yeah, it would have been Monday and Thursday, and that's in preparation for the state assessments. There's still some questions as to whether the state assessments will be given, but they really feel the time is worth putting into to get the kids prepared. Plus, it'll kind of help get any bugs out with the computer system as well. So they are looking at that. One teacher is particularly happy with how Lyft is going. And that's not something we've heard much about, but she feels it's going well. She has a group of students, about anywhere from 5 to 10 per day, and that have been with her fairly consistently. She's been doing a variety of different activities. They made cookies one day virtually, so everybody had it set. They read Christmas stories another day, and they've been playing games and doing some discussion. What she's really feeling is it's mostly maintaining relationships with the students more than the things that they're doing or any of the support she's offering them, but is just feeling that that's been really possible. And she said, when there's need, there is a way to work it out. And I emailed with Mark, and he wanted the following students to be recognized for their perseverance and hard work. Russell Thompson, Zoe Dennis, Jonas Delicio, Rory Brown, Ariana Van Houter, Gracie Brown, Annabelle Arthur, and Anna Madison. He said they're showing strong work ethic with writing, accepting feedback, and taking pride in their work.
Oh, how wonderful.
So he wanted them to be recognized.
Great.
That's it.
Thank you. Great. And Paul, do you have anything from the high school? Paul Statsky?
Two things from the high school. One was from actually last December, the 21 December virtual caroling went really well. I got in on that, and it was just really well done. And it was kind of just a really friendly atmosphere, even on Zoom. The other point that I wanted to make was this week, well, last week and then the first 2 days here, just getting everybody back to school, seeing faces again. Everyone is really very positive about that at the high school.
Yeah. Great, great. Thank you. And the audit committee I know has met. Linda, do you have anything to report from the audit committee?
Yeah. We did meet and we did review the Mengo Metzger Bar and Company review, but with Raymond Wager had submitted that. We went through that with Bob Megan. And this year, of course, is highly unusual as it is for everything else because the extra activity or extra classroom activity funds, some of the clubs and groups weren't able to meet or they weren't able to fundraise. So there were things that were noted this year that wouldn't be noted in another year, such as suggesting to look into inactive groups, and it's mainly inactive because of COVID. So there were different things that were found to need some work and follow up on, and suggestions were made and will be followed up on, making sure that everyone that's involved in the extra curricular and classroom activities know how they need to report, how they need to deposit funds, and how they need to deal with the cash and costs and profits and so on. I don't know if there's anything that Bob wants to add to that. We're going to be approving that report, I believe.
No, I think you've covered it pretty well, Linda. That report is there and on Board of Education acceptance. It'll be filed with the state tomorrow and we'll put it up on our website for review also.
Okay. Thanks, Bob. I forgot about it being put on the website.
Do any of you other board members have questions for the audit committee? I know that was part of your packet, so you've had time to look at it. Hearing none. Very good, thank you. Public can look for that tomorrow. We'll move on to the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. The consent agenda runs through pages 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I believe. Linda, motion. A second. Izetta, is there any discussion? Are there any questions? Hearing none. All in favor of the consent agenda? I'll go down the list. John?
He gave a thumbs up.
Yes.
Linda? I've lost all my. Okay.
Yes, she said yes.
Thank you. Tina?
Yes.
Jason?
He gave a thumbs up.
Paul?
Yes.
And Izetta?
Yes.
Thank you. The consent agenda is approved. Now moving on to page 5. Does anyone have good news? We heard some good news from the liaisons, but is there any other good news you want to share?
Paul has good news.
Paul, okay.
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
whole bunch of good news.
Oh.
So this is all from the Lakeshore News. nice article about our school project over at Leavenworth. It also included the other schools, but primarily on Leavenworth. And then the other one was about area superintendents getting to weigh in on the virtual learning. And our superintendent, Mike Pullen, was a star in that write-up. So we have, I know Norris, Quentin was on there, and he mentioned playing soccer. We have some really good news here about our men and women at the school. So this is the Wayne County Men's All-Star First Team, and this is soccer, by the way. So first team, Caleb Murray, Skylar Cole were both on the first team. Second team, Cameron McCann. And third team, we had two, AJ Anthony and then Nick Gilbert. Women. On the second team, Hannah, is it Stubby? Stubby. And Janet Cooper. Third team, Autumn Cole and Riley Betzoid. So it was nice to see a bunch of our students on the All-County. Great article here about our North Rose Elementary School in partnership with the Wayne County Literacy Volunteers of Wayne County and the Wolcott Public Library and the Rose Public Library. And Megan, I'm sure you're really familiar with this, but this was really a wonderful situation where the students are able to read and get credit. And for their credit, they get either a new book, or in some cases, what they're able to do is go in, Megan, maybe you want to add to this, but like a partnership or maybe an internship is what's on my mind for my college students, with several different companies in town. And I'd like to read them because I want to make sure they get credit for it. The Lake Ontario Dance, Cook-So-Wan of Wolcott, Wayside Farms, the Village Restaurant, Cranes Market, Wolcott Dentistry, the Dugout, Hometown Eatery, and the Three Sisters of Boutique. So it's really nice that they're offering our students an opportunity to come to their businesses and work. Get a feel for what it's like. Another great article. This one, in fact, I noticed that Mark, our new athletic director, is online. This is really good news. So this is another article from Lakeshore News, but what's the highlight for me is this is about the fall 2020 Scholar Athletic teams. And to be on the Scholar Athletic team, your team has to have an average of 90. Now there's a formula in there that's not exactly what it is, but essentially you got to have a bunch of students on this team that are doing very well. And out of Hannibal, Red Creek, Clyde Savannah, which included Lions and North Rose, we had the most student athlete teams. They are the women's cross country, men's soccer, women's soccer, and women's swimming and diving team. So I thought that was neat. And then also as number of students, we were a landslide ahead of everyone else. 34 students of ours were student scholars, and that again I confirmed as a 90% or higher average. Moving on to graduates of our school. Nazareth has an article in the paper where Drew Fowler and Emily Graham are both on the Dean's List at Nazareth. And Nazareth listed that the Dean's List was a 3.5. So students of ours are doing well at their universities. Karen Bajerga, if I'm pronouncing that properly, that's at Clarkson on the Dean's List. And then Clarkson sent another article about the Presidential Scholars, which is a 3.8 or higher. And on that was Connor Leas and my son, Mike Stasky from our North Rose-Wolcott. So that's my good news. Lots of good news, I think, from our students that are in school and our students that have already graduated from our school.
Good. Absolutely. Thank you. Michael, is there anything you would like to report to the board at this time?
No, at this time, I think we're pretty well accounted for through Megan's report and the various things that have been stated by board members and presenters tonight. So, I know Mr. Statsky mentioned people coming back. We're very thankful that we're back in session and back following our hybrid model. And that's something that, as you see around the area, we've been navigating COVID as best we can, as have several other area schools. So pretty proud of the work that our teachers, our support staff, and our administrators are putting in. You know, it's phenomenal to think about the amount of time and energy they've provided some normalcy to these kids through that time and energy. So, and you know, this time of year when it's dark in the morning and dark at night, I just want to commend our bus drivers for everything they do to bring our kids to school safely. So pretty pleased with the state of where we're at right now for North Rose-Wolcott. That's pretty much all I would say.
Great, thank you. Thank you. At this time, we are going to need to go into an executive session. And we'll need a motion to go into executive session for the board to discuss the history of a particular person, as well as a student record protected by the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Is there a motion? Izetta, a second. Tina? Again, all in favor, and I will go down the list. John? Tina, are you watching?
Yes, I'm watching.
Thank you. Linda?
Yes.
Tina?
Yes.
Jason?
He's good.
Thank you. Paul?
Yes.
Izetta?
Yes.
Motion is passed. To the public who's with us right now, we expect the executive session to be approximately half an hour, and we may end up doing some business when we return. If you just hang in there, Tina is going to take you off the Zoom, and when we come back into the session, she will reconnect you. That a motion that it be resolved that the Board of Education, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and pursuant to educational law, accepts the addition to the January 12, 2021 meeting agenda. Motion? I'm waiting for some
We
board
had
member to
Linda
move
first,
that.
and then Linda made a motion.
Linda did?
Yep.
Okay, and who seconded?
John?
John? Okay. Any discussion to adding to the agenda? All in favor of adding to the agenda? John?
He said yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Tina?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
And Izetta?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. And now I need a motion for approval of the item as listed under the additions to agenda. And this is the resolution. The 1.913 examination resolved that the Board of Education of North Rose Central School District, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and pursuant to its powers under New York State Education Law number 913, hereby directs a tenured employee to undergo medical and/or psychiatric examinations and/or other tests deemed medically appropriate by an examiner or examiners selected by the district. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education directs the Superintendent of Schools to make such arrangements as are necessary to effectuate this resolution pursuant to Education Law, Section 913. And be it further resolved that the findings of such examination or examinations shall be reported back to the Board of Education for the evaluation of the employee's fitness to continue employment. A motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Paul. And a second?
Yeah, Tina Reed.
Tina, okay. Are there any questions, discussion? Then all in favor. Starting with John,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Tina, Jason, Paul,
Yes.
Izetta.
Yes.
Motion is carried. There being no further business to bring before the board, a motion please to adjourn.
So moved.
John, second.
Linda,
Linda, all right. Any discussion? All in favor? John,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Tina,
Yes.
Jason,
yes.
Paul,
Yes.
Izetta.
Yes.
Motion is carried. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you, public people, and have a good evening.
Thank you. Good night.